Hi everybody, and welcome back. This is Bill McCabe and at the Iron Crane Dojo. And we just finished a session today and worked on a few ideas that gave me some ideas for a video of some points that are not essential self-defense techniques, but are techniques that have pretty good bearing just on your overall abilities and how you respond to those critical defense situations. These are like little nuggets that you like to have in your arsenal, but that you may not have, okay? Right now we've got a couple guys working out on the floor. Let me interrupt them for a second. Steve, can I borrow you for a second over here? Sorry. Hey, come over here. Okay, so what I want you to get, and come on close on this, what I want you to get is, this is an inverted bent wrist lock. And inverted means you're using the extension of the wrist. An extension would be going against the natural plane of motion of the arm. This would be flexion, like when you close your fingers. Flexing is like when you flex a muscle, the joints close on each other. This would be flexion, for example. An extension is when you're working in the opposite direction, against where the bend of the joint naturally occurs. So a regular bent wrist lock would look something like this. You're working with the flexion. And then a reverse bent wrist lock would go something like this. You're working with the extension component of motion, and the extension is what puts the stress. You can stress by overextending, and you can stress by overflexing. Okay, and that's why joint locks work. You take one of these characteristics of motion and you work it to an extreme, and that causes the pain. And then you also combine that with pressure points and other strikes to make it more effective. Okay, so just to set up an example of how this might be done, I escape from the grab, and I bring him in, and I position his arm in such a way that I've got the extended leverage about to explode. So right now his arm is on the verge of being overloaded. I've aligned his wrist, his elbow, and his shoulder in a horizontal plane, and then when I come in and extend on that, his body drops completely to the ground because he feels these three wanting to break or fail because of the overload of pressure I'm putting upon it. Okay? And that's just like all techniques, you know, punches, kicks, and everything else. These have to be practiced with great restraint because you don't want to have accidental injuries. And you only want to do this stuff under the guidance of a qualified instructor. But for those of you who are looking for new ideas and directions in the martial arts, this is certainly one that you want to explore. So the basic move is like this. I come over, position them, and execute. Okay. And the quick move would be something like this. I come up and do the entire thing on the quick using his wrist to align the entire arm. And that takes a little bit of practice before you can get to a high level of skill with that. Now, these aren't attacks. These are just control moves that you want to have in your arsenal. And not many people develop them to a high level. But if you do, it adds a whole dimension to the range of things that you could do in self-defense that you would not otherwise have. So that's why I like to talk about them. Again, if you're standing, you know, he grabs and he throws a punch at me. See, he has trouble throwing a punch because I'm controlling his balance with the move. Just like he can't kick right now because his legs are stuck to the ground because I got that much pressure. And what's beautiful about this particular move is that you can combine it with other things. You see, when he's in that position, I have knee strikes. I can, you know, convert to different types of moves in sequence as follow-ups. But those are things you just explore and develop on your own over time. Now, I'm going to show you this again. Probably one of the things you want to see is how I set up the position.
So you want this on the other side?
I think there's some kids having a basketball practice outside there, so you can hear the background noise. It's, you know, quite humorous. I want you to see the transition here. When he grabs my wrist, I roll under his power and over into the position. So I'm under, over, and in. Other side. Grabs, hold tight. See, I'm under, over, and in. It's that quick. Because I'm going where his power's not, so you have a clean transition. And then from here, now it takes time to develop, being able to break a person's balance with a flick of my wrist, but it's doable. And it's all part of the geometry of motion that you'll develop if you work with some of the ideas that we're sharing with you. Over the top, in, down. And what you want to do with this is you want to be centered on the person. So there's a couple of rules that you never want to violate. For example, if his elbow is down and I apply this, it will not be triggered because I'm not putting the pressure on the joint. See, as I try to apply it here, his elbow is down, he can maneuver. Okay, he can convert on me. If his elbow is high and I try to convert, he can get out of it. The whole triggering geometry is right here. You bring it to a horizontal plane. Horizontal plane, 1, 2, 3, creating a plane which is horizontal. So long as you have that and maintain it, the person is at a disadvantage. So watch. See, I can bring him all the way down to the ground and control him. And that's, he'll tell you that that's right on the point of breaking.
Hey.
It's very painful. So you have to be very, very careful and courteous when you work with a partner using this stuff. Okay, so that's the first move. That's the transition. That's how you get out. Now, if you want to really amp this up, bring the camera in close. I'm going to show you how this can be amped up. You capture the hand at two different planes of motion, and then you do opposing rotary motions on the wrist. You feel that? So it's no longer just this, it's the wrist being disassembled as I'm doing that. I'm basically completely separating the wrist joint while I'm tweaking the nerves. And you can see that. You see what's happening with my hands, okay? And all this is working in concert. Now, the beauty of this is it's a great control move, and it's a great move to back off an aggressor, or someone who's not, going to try to harm you fatally or in a critical way, but someone who might just be a nuisance. And if you do this to them, it may prevent an altercation from escalating into something where you're overtly striking and doing serious damage to each other. Probably the more basic way to do this is you come up, it's the same release. You come over and physically transition the arm into the horizontal plane. See, I'm doing it at a more advanced level, so you don't really see that I have to physically do this. But in the beginning, you will have to do that. You'll come up and you'll bring the other elbow into a position of alignment, creating a horizontal plane, and then you'll bring the person down. Okay? Again, I'm going to have you have a third look at that, or whatever it is, a third or fourth look at it. Up, I bring it in, and I'm here. Now, I'm doing something here called chest contact. The chest that creates a platform. If you ever see any of Wally J's work or his videos, he emphasizes the importance of creating a platform. See, with the platform, I've got additional leverage. Now, what I like to do is create a platform by combining the angles of my hands. Again, I'm going down the center. See, my energy is going here. If my energy goes to the side, I lose control of it. Now, he can actually start to maneuver out of that and convert on me. If I'm going it too much from this side, he'll be able to get out of it. Okay? If I'm centered on target, he's stuck. And if I want to break, I can break. Okay, so that's the technique. Now, ways to employ the technique. Say he grabs my chest. I come over the top, around, and in. It's just a quick control move. He grabs my chest, I hit, come back, execute. He grabs with two hands. Okay, I come over inside, take one, over, execute. Or he grabs with two hands, I come over the top, cross, take one, go outside of his energy and execute. You can do either side with that. He grabs again, come to the top, and see, I can hit him here, see? Or hit, or hit, or hit. Go over, take him back. Right? Okay? The point is once you become comfortable with that, there's all kinds of places you can use it. Let's just say he grabs my hair with his right hand. I turn and I'm in position. See how quick that is? Again, he grabs with the right hand. I capture, pull my hair. See, rip it off.
I can't.
See, he's stuck because I'm trapping it there. And I can just keep my hand here and still work. See it? But you see how I'm not breaking the rule? I'm creating the horizontal plane. You see how clean that is? Okay? Now, if he does it again, I can do it with two hands here. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways you can use this. Grab variations of this, of the reverse extended wrist lock, are things that you've seen where people get your fingers and roll them back like this, okay? Those things work too. He just grabs my hair over the top. Same trap that we're talking about with this, except this time you go back and bring him down to the ground. He grabs, I trap, 1, 2, now pull. Okay, now hit. See? There's things that you can do. Now, see, I've got him weighted to the ground here, so it's hard for him to use his legs. But these are little tricks that you can engage in, use in a fighting situation or self-defense situation. Typically, though, if he grabs my hair, he's about to hit me. I've already got him down to the ground. It's that quick. You can actually use this in a flow or fluid situation too. So for example, we'll do this in slow motion so we can capture it on the film. He throws a right hand punch at me. I'm outside him, in, outside, in, left hand side. So you get an opposite view there, in. See, I'm doing it with one hand. Now it takes a little bit of practice before you can do it with one hand, but you can see how you can capture from the outside. If he grabs my hand, I come up, opposite side of what we were doing before. He grabs it with two hands. Same thing. Same technique. Grabs it with two hands, holding it with two hands, in. Grabs two hands here, in. Grabs two hands here, in. Okay? Shake that.
Very good.
I'm okay. Okay, so there you have it. The reverse extended bent wrist lock, working on the internal extension back into a person's center line. We showed you a lot of ways you can use it and engage it. There's many more ways. If I can find some old video, I'll throw it on to the tail end of this so you'll have some additional ideas. This is something you really need to have in your arsenal. Don't let it just float by without giving it the attention it deserves, okay? I'll see you next time I see you. It's Christmas where I'm at, so I'll be thinking of you all during the holidays. Do well and be well. Have a good New Year. See, while he's doing that, bang, 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 you work the targets. The release. 1. See, he's grabbing the hair. You got open targets here. Soft hand strike. 1, 2, camel. Pressure point knee. Arm, bent arm, release into the throat, down to the ground. Those are all possibilities. See, reverse it, you grab his. And I can't react to this. See, I'll go with it, then I'll turn so that he loses it and execute my technique from that point. Classic technique, watch. Lock, lock. He's pinned onto my head now. See, release your hand. See, now I've converted that into a lock, and I snap his wrist. You can go straight down, over, up, there.
somebody grabs your hair, you see they're high off the ground already, so it's easy to get underneath them. To do throws, it's easy to drop underneath that guy if you want to do a throw on the person. He grabs, holds as tight as he can. See, that breaks his balance. He has to let go.
If the cameraman was an attacker and if he was coming toward me, I would trap Sensei Chris's arm, roll him over, and drive him into the next attack. See how that works? He comes toward me, trap, drive. Okay? Or trap, drive, into. He can grab, I can trap, and break. See it? Opposing actions. Come on the other side, walk around the body so you can get a good view of this from several different angles. Okay, look over the top. Good. And circle around to my left shoulder, if you will, so I can view it from that side. I'm over here, thank you. Okay. And take a look at the hand. Good. Now, a release technique. This grab has some degree of integrity side to side. It's weak vertically, so if I push down, there's a release in there. He grabs, I push down, there's a release. As soon as I have him in this position, I can move him. Okay, or I can move him down, forward, or down to the rear. Watch how I move him to the rear. I go down and I can do a release. Actually, this will be even quicker. I trap him, down, snap. Quick arm release, arm break. I release him from my body, come outside. Now watch, come over to my right shoulder if you will, sir. I just released him. Watch the rotation on the hand here. Put this right on the hand. As I circle under the arm, see the rotation on the hand, and I capture the locking point, which is the fleshy part of his hand adjacent to his pinky. When I have this point, I can convert to any of several arm locks or throws. I can roll his arm upward, do a quick snap. I can trap from the rear, come around, and this is known in our group as the turkey. I think we adopted the name from something we saw Jean LaBelle do some time ago. This is a beautiful control move. Or the attack, same move. I'm going to do it with a little bit of a flow now. Up, and you can see the flow there, here. If I step forward, it becomes a throw. If I step at an angle, it drives into the ground to my rear. Okay? Sensei Chris is here. I grab the same throw that we had with the upward lift, which is an arm snapping, so he goes underneath, lifts me high. Now go to the other side and take a go over here. Take a look at this angle. And peek on down in there. You can see how he's pinning my hand into his chest. You're going to go around to the front. As he begins to lift me, he drops his body beneath me and snaps my arm in that spot as I'm about to move to the top. But what I want you to see is this. As he's executing it, he's also doing a wrist break in the middle of that throw. Keep the camera where you're at. I grab. Okay, and then he positions. And watch how he rolls my wrist into his sternum. See it? He drops down low, and over the top, and you see how the throw will snap my wrist because it cannot unflex in that position. So it's a very interesting throw, and it's a throw that you'd want to use if you were being seriously threatened with an attack. Different technique entirely. I go up, capture his hand, turn about, and bring him down. That wrist lock. Okay, you can see how simple that is. It looks simple, but as somebody over there said a few seconds ago, it looks simple, but not quite as simple as it looks. So he grabs, my left foot goes back, I'm high, capture the hand. I exit through the sneak factory exit, and I bring him down. he's in this position, I can work the hand or I can work the head. You know, everything is available for me to work if I choose to use it. Pick him up.